talking in a vlog format, but I kind of miss doing this, and I felt led to do it right now because I want to document this shift. And never mind my acne, y'all, but I know I don't have to say that, but I have to. But anyways, I want to talk to you guys, and mind you, I'm driving, so I'm sorry, but it just feels like with filming and vlogging, you have to go with it when you feel it rolling off of your tongue. So that's what I'm doing here. But I wanted to talk to you guys about how good God is, and talk to you guys about like how surreal it can feel when your life starts to shift. And it's a very emotional feeling because it happens, and it's a magical thing, and you're looking like, where did these changes come from? How are they happening? What did I do to finally put myself in this position in order to continually receive from God and be blessed in abundance and things like that? So I don't know what is happening. I know it's got to be some sort of planetary, some kind of planetary placement or some divine universal pull that is shifting my reality. It's shifting my reality in life, and it's just making things easier. And I don't want to say that it's easy. It's hard to talk about this because I don't want to glamorize, I don't want to fabricate, I don't want to give an impression that's not real. However, I also just want to share the reality of what's possible. The hard part for me to talk to you guys about this is just the simple fact that I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know if it's consistency, or if it's persistence, or if it's chance, or if it's an accumulation of all of those things. I don't know if someone prayed for me, or if I said a magical prayer that changed everything. I don't know if it's a level of trust that I have cultivated with life or with the universe that has put me in this position. I don't know if it's, honestly, I really believe that I have done a lot of good things, and people have prayed for me, and they have prayed genuine prayers, and God is really proud of me, and I'm reaping the rewards of what's mine, what I've worked for and what I've prayed for. And it sounds very cliche, it sounds too good to be true, it sounds like a scam. But I just have noticed, like, God really answered my prayers and really providing for me unconditionally and abundantly. And I'm not gonna give you guys this illusion that life is perfect, because it's not perfect. I still go through the same problems that everyone else goes through every day. I still have the same downfalls that other people have. I'm still being hindered by myself just like others, but the balance is more level in my favor than in my demise these days. And that feeling is what is forcing me to talk to you guys and tell you just how thankful I am and how humble I am by my blessings, and just honestly how scared I am of everything manifesting into reality and continuing to go in an upward spiral. It's just scary. It's scary. So I wanted to share this with you guys because I feel that I'm not gonna be the same person that I am right now, or that I was, or that I am. I'm becoming a new person, and not in necessarily like a negative way or a weird way, but in an evolutionary way. I'm evolving. I'm gonna be 33 this year, and maybe that has something to do with it. Actually, I'll be 33 in a month from today, and I'm just very thankful. I feel very privileged to be alive and to be well, but also to be on the upper hand of the spectrum when it comes to the balance of life, and to have stability and peace in my surroundings, and all the things that should be owed to everyone. And I have worked hard to achieve, and obviously that God has blessed me with. Sorry, y'all, there's a whole semi backing up in the middle of the expressway, so I gotta focus. But I just really want everyone to know, like, just don't give up, keep having faith, and pray for what you really want, because when you get it, you won't be able to even really believe it. I have been so blessed for a long time, and I have not talked to anyone about it really, like via vlog format, or I haven't documented everything, and I kind of do feel bad for that, but life is crazy, and we're not in control. Like, we can sway the ocean, the waves of the ocean in this direction or that direction, but ultimately we don't have control. And I think that I have really let go of so much fear by discontinuing being so controlling. When we try to control so much of our lives or of who we are, we rob ourselves, because we don't let nature run its course the way that it should. And so I feel like for years I have allowed nature to run its course, and I have just been at the mercy of nature. And that has been very humbling, and it's been something to adapt to. But now that I have been able to do that for so long, I have been really taking back my power in life from people, places, things, myself, by being less controlling, more open-minded, optimistic, more focusing on envisioning my future, and meditating on it and everything like that. And I feel like I've said this forever, but I never have actually, well, not that I can remember extremely vividly, but I can't really remember ever having this feeling of like a literal shift in my life for the better. It's like if you are standing with your mouth open underneath a faucet for years, just waiting for a drop or a rush, a drop of water or a rush of water, either one, and you're like getting drop after drop after drop, and you start being grateful, like, oh, I'm so thankful for that drop after drop after drop. And then all of a sudden, before you notice, someone comes and just turns the spout all the way on, and then you're just like choking because of the faucet just overflowing to you. That is sort of how I feel. So I feel like I have always kind of been in a position to receive drop after drop after drop, but now it feels like the spout has been fully open and the water is pouring out. And personally, I don't like to speak about these things too much, because I don't want to be prideful, don't want to come off as arrogant or boastful, but there's a thin line between that and sharing the testimony of what God has done for you, and you're deep in your heart and your soul. You can feel it through every single fiber of your being, and it's scary because you're feeling something new. You don't even know what the is going on, you're like, okay, what do I do with this? And so now it's like, for me, I'm very fearful and scared because we all want freedom, like I said, but when you actually get it, you realize that it's way more vast than your brain was able to imagine. You know, you think about, they say, oh, if you got $10,000, what would you do with it? And like, everyone will have a different answer. Some people say, I'll pay my rent ahead for as long as I can, or I'll pay my car off, or, you know, I'll put it in savings, or I'll invest it in stocks. There's so many things that you can do. And that is my point, is that I'm scared because now the pressure is on even more. You know, there's this misconception that when you obtain more in life, whether it be finances or whatever, that you, or success, notoriety, whatever it is, that you automatically like start thriving, and it becomes oh so easy all of a sudden, and like all these things that are not reality. Reality is like, well, damn, before I just had to learn how to manage my bills, and now I gotta learn how to become an investor, you know, and that's scary. And more money does not always equal more power, because really, I don't know what the saying is, but really you're just going up against bigger giants. Like, you're just playing chess and checkers with a new group of people, you know, a new status quo, so to speak, and things like that. So now that I am, you know, getting to the point where I can pull some weight on my own, I can earn notoriety in the world and become a massive mentor and things, I'm just concerned with how many possibilities they are. They're so limitless, and they're all vast, which means there's a lot that goes into anything that we choose to do. It's more money, more problems, but not only that, the Bible says the more, well, I don't want to misquote the Bible, but I believe the Bible says basically that the more God trusts you with, the higher the responsibility is, or the accountability and things like that. So, you know, it doesn't really get easier. And so I'm just kind of stuck in between being thankful that I'm acquiring, but also being fearful that I don't know what to do with everything that I'm going to acquire. And just praying to God that I have what it takes in order to continue, and I pray to God that this message gets through to somebody who is on the borderline and they just need a little encouragement, or they need to know that they're not alone. You know, I have lived a long life in poverty, not the worst poverty, but definitely in poverty, and it is hard, and I think people understand that, but I don't think people understand how hard it is when you're successful, especially when you're like one of the first people to really be successful in your family. Like, for example, when you're the first one to graduate in your family, or you're the first one to make $1 million in your family, or whatever it may be, you know, that becomes the foundation. And you know, you have to, I mean, if you really take that seriously, right, that becomes the foundation, and you have to continue to manifest from there. So hopefully you guys can understand everything that I'm saying, but you know, it's a little easier when you're when you have a family, it's already established, and you know, you're able to inherit. But when you're the founder, that is a whole different level of responsibility. Now, I'm not comparing them or contrasting them, I'm just saying they're different. And that's what I'm up against, and it's scary. And the craziest part about it, that I think somebody listening to this needs to hear, when I first started my journey in the world as an adult, for, you know, like, my motivation was to be able to go back home one day and to share, you know, and to help. Sorry, y'all, my battery's dying. But my goal was to go back home one day and share and help and everything like that. But over the years of me working towards my success, I haven't had anyone here. I'm not gonna say I haven't had anyone, but my family, I have not had them here. They have not been here doing this with me, for me, and they are their own people. They have their own lives. And a couple of years ago, I realized that, and I came into terms with the fact that I am alone. Like, this is a lonely road to the top. And so I don't know who needs to hear this, but what you acquire and all the blessings that you're able to manifest, as much as someone else could be a motivation, or they could be a source of inspiration, you are alone. You're alone, and you don't owe anyone anything, and you can hinder yourself from acquiring everything that's meant for you by thinking that you have to share, or feeling that it's only as important if you can share with everyone else too. So, for example, I used to want to be able to go home, buy my mom a house, or pay her house off, buy my dad a house, or pay his house off, and just buy them cars for their garages, help them furnish, and watch them just enjoy the rest of their lives. But at the same time, that's just, to me, in my position, it was a fairy tale. It was a fantasy land, because unfortunately, they're not really anticipating that or looking forward to that. They don't even really understand it's possible or believe it will happen. If I was to tie my why to them, I want to be able to do this, I want to be able to do that, and that's my why, I may get led astray, misguided, or just straight up lose hope because they don't thoroughly support me or encourage me or have faith in me and my ability. And at the end of the day, my success is not hanging in the balance for them. It's only hanging in the balance for me. So over the last year to 2 years, I have really began to understand that, and I have began to change my perspective of life, reality, people, and things like that, to take all of that and just not even really put it into perspective. Like, at the end of the day, I can't imagine sharing what I'm going to get for myself with other people like I used to, because they were not the ones who carried me through. They are not the ones who helped pick me back up when I really wanted to give up, or when I didn't see any light at the end of the tunnel. And it's not as to punish them or to alienate them or vengeance. It's not vengeful, but it's reality. Reality is that if anyone on this planet wants something, whatever they want, they're going to work their asses off for it. So if your kid comes to you and they say, I love you so much that I am so motivated by my ability to provide for you in the future as you've provided for me, that I'm going to do this for you. And they don't have that passion. They're not, having that faith. They're not expecting that. Then, it just really, it ruins your psychological welfare rather. It turns into a warfare. That's something I can talk about at a different time. But overall, what I'm saying is that it's a lonely road. You have to do it for you and you only. You can't do it for anyone else. And you have to be your why. You have to imagine all the people that you can help in the world and all the good that you can create. And you have to imagine when you pull into an apartment complex that all of the apartments are yours, or when you see a new building project that you built that was your work, that was your team. And that's another thing. When you want to be successful, you have to build a team, and you can't expect your family or your friends to be a part of that. They're not going to necessarily always have that same drive and compassion towards your goals and your dreams as perhaps you would, or someone that you contract that that has that that's committed like that. So I know I said a lot. I always do. And none of it was organized, because this is all off the top of my head, and I tend to forget what I'm saying while I'm saying something else and all this. But I am so thankful. I am taking the fucking life by the horns. God bless me. I'm not going to let his blessings over my life fall flat, especially not at the mercy or stake of anyone else. And I think that's what got me where I am right this minute. I am so thankful to be empowered. Sometimes you will look at people in the world and they're a force, and you just ask yourself, how did they become that force? Like, how did their name build that notoriety? How did physically they derive that protection from the earth naturally? How does money just cling to them, and all of that? And if you guys don't know, today is October 3rd, 2024, and there's so much money that is out there for people to take, that has been taken right under the feet from plenty of people who do bad in the world. So there's really not an explanation like, oh, it's an oversaturated market, or oh, nobody's spending money, or any of that. And it's insane when you start to see that life is treating you like a queen or a king, and life is putting you up onto a pedestal, and you're like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why is this happening? What am I supposed to do? Things will become so much easier, where you would have received resistance before, you receive like an open, helping, welcome hand. But you have to be willing to be alone. So many people come to me and they're like, really, like, they want what I have, and I'm not saying that to be boastful. They want the clear mind, they want the free spirit, they want the peace, and they want the power. And I tell everyone the same thing, and a lot of people don't listen to me. Some do, but I tell them, you have to leave everything and everybody. I've left everything and everybody, and I'm going to do a sit-down video, and I'm going to talk about my story. I'm going to share it, but I just don't think people understand how important it is to uproot and to replant yourself so you can thrive. And this summer I have gotten into plants, so I'm a little what do they call, a gardener, a little gardener or whatever, potted plants, house plants and things like that. But it's insane, because you put them in one pot and they grow and grow and grow. They suck up all the soil, and all there is roots. And then you take them out of that pot, where they will start to wilt because they have their root bound. They can't grow bigger. They can only continue to grow, but only at the expense that those other leaves, so to speak, die off first, so that they can continue to, they're really just going to stay the same size, but so they can continue to grow, right? And you take that root bound plant with all those strong, hefty roots, you take it out of that pot, put it into a new pot with new soil, and it will grow bigger, and it will grow faster. It will grow more healthy and beautiful. I don't understand why people can't relate themselves to nature more and understand the psychological process that needs to happen in order to grow. But I hope that that plant example, or the water faucet example, is like a little insightful for anyone who has like a visual mind. So yeah, I don't have anything else. I have to go, you guys. I've already talked for a while. But I love everyone so much. Thank you. God bless everybody who has ever prayed for me in a positive way. Godspeed and divine timing and divine intervention to each and every single one of you forever. I am so blessed and thankful, and I just could not hold back on speaking about how good God is and how humbled and thankful and honored I am. And also just wanted to document this milestone because this is a new chapter